The voice that's been following you your whole life. The one that speaks when nobody's around. The one that whispers when things fall apart. That voice, it's either building you or breaking you. And most people don't even realize they've been listening to the wrong one. But what if, for the next 21 days, you flipped the script? What if you spoke to yourself in a way that made fear nervous, doubt uncomfortable, and excuses disappear? Because I'm telling you right now, change how you talk to yourself, and you won't recognize who you become. This isn't motivation. This is transformation. And it starts with 3 decisions, 3 daily disciplines, 3 ways to speak to yourself that will change your life. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the ground, you've already started negotiating with yourself. I hope today goes better. I'll try to stay on track. Maybe I can handle it. Listen to those words. Feel the weight of them. There's hesitation in them. There's doubt hiding between every syllable. And whether you realize it or not, your mind is listening, taking notes, setting the tone for everything that follows. You don't walk into your day. You drift into it. Now let me tell you something real. Something most people don't want to confront. Your mind does not know the difference between a wish and a command. It responds to both. But it obeys commands, it moves on certainty, it builds momentum on clarity. So when you say, I'll try, your brain hears, it's optional. When you say maybe, your brain hears, don't fully commit. When you say, I hope, your brain prepares for disappointment, and then you wonder why your actions don't line up with your potential. High performers don't speak like that. Not because they're special, but because they're intentional. They've trained themselves to speak with authority even before the results show up. An athlete stepping onto the field doesn't say, I hope I perform well today. No, they say, I'm ready. I've done the work. I execute. That language sharpens focus. It locks in commitment. There's real science behind this. Studies in cognitive psychology show that the way you speak to yourself directly influences your performance. Not talent, not background, your internal dialogue. Participants who used strong, directive self-talk, clear, confident statements, performed better under pressure than those who didn't. Same ability, different words, different outcomes, because words aren't just sounds, they're instructions. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because you've been practicing something, whether you knew it or not. Every time you said, I can't, you were training your mind to shut down. Every time you said, I'm not ready, you were rehearsing hesitation. Every time you whispered, I'm not good enough, you were reinforcing a script that keeps you small. That's not just thinking, that's conditioning. And whatever you rehearse long enough, you become fluent in. So if you've been fluent in doubt, insecurity, hesitation, it's not an accident, it's repetition. It's years of feeding your mind uncertain language and expecting confident results. That doesn't change by wishing it away. It changes the moment you decide to speak differently. You don't say, I'll try to stay focused. You say, I am focused. I follow through. You don't say, I hope I get better. You say, I improve every single day. And at first, it's going to feel strange. It might even feel like you're lying to yourself. That's because your old identity is being challenged. But understand this, confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you practice. You speak it before you feel it. You repeat it until it becomes natural. You live into it until it becomes truth. This isn't about pretending, it's about preparing. There's a quiet power in certainty, not loud, not arrogant, not forced, just steady, grounded, unshaken. The kind of presence that doesn't need validation because it's built from within. And that begins with how you speak. When nobody else is listening, let me ask you something. And I want you to answer it honestly, not out loud, but to yourself. How many times has one small thought, just one, turned into something bigger than it ever deserved to be? You miss a step, you make a mistake, you say the wrong thing, and it starts quietly. Mess that up. Simple, small, harmless, right? But then it doesn't stop there. It grows legs. I always mess things up, and now it's not about the moment anymore. It's about you. And before you can catch your breath, before you can slow it down, you've gone from one mistake to questioning your value, your ability, your worth. That's how fast it happens. And here's the danger. It feels real, it feels true, but it's not. It's just a thought that went unchecked. A spark that turned into a fire because nobody stepped in to put it out. See, your brain is wired for survival, not success. It leans toward danger, toward what could go wrong. That's called negativity bias. It's been protecting human beings for thousands of years. But in your daily life, it can trap you. It can make you see failure where there's growth. It can make you feel defeat where there's opportunity. And if you don't take control of that voice, it will take control of you. Now hear me clearly. This is not about pretending negative thoughts don't exist. They will come. They come for everybody. The difference is what you do when they arrive. Most people, they sit down with those thoughts. They entertain them. They let them talk. They give them time, energy, attention. But you don't negotiate with something that's trying to tear you down. You interrupt it. Right there. Right in the moment. I'm not good enough. No, you cut it off. I'm getting better every day. This is too hard. No, this is making me stronger. You don't wait until later. You don't let it settle in. You stop it before it builds roots. Because once it takes root, it starts shaping how you move, how you speak, how you show up in the world. I remember hearing about a man who kept failing interviews, one after another. And every time he walked out, he'd sit in his car and tear himself apart. You blew it again. You're not cut out for this. Why do you even try? And guess what? The next interview, he walked in carrying all of that with him. You could hear it in his voice. You could see it in his posture. He was defeated before he even started. Then one day he made a decision, just one. He said, I'm done talking to myself like that. So after the next rejection, instead of breaking himself down, he said, that sharpened me. I'm getting closer. Same situation, different response. And slowly, things began to shift. His tone got stronger. His shoulders sat higher. He started walking into rooms like he belonged there. And eventually, he did, because your thoughts don't stay in your head. They travel. They show up in your eyes, your energy, your presence. People can feel what you believe about yourself before you ever say a word. So if you let negativity grow unchecked, it doesn't just stay a thought, it becomes a pattern, a habit, a reality. But if you cut it at the root, if you stop it before it spreads, you take your power back. And once you do that, everything about you starts to change. Now this is where people start getting uncomfortable. This is where the room gets quiet, where doubt leans in a little closer and says, this sounds good, but can I really do this? Because it feels strange, doesn't it? Standing there, speaking about a version of yourself that hasn't shown up yet. Acting like you're already becoming someone stronger, more disciplined, more focused. When your current reality doesn't fully match it, it feels like you're reaching into the future with empty hands. But listen carefully. Everything you see around you, every building, every breakthrough, every success story started the same way, as a thought, as a belief, as a voice inside someone's mind that said, this is possible, long before the world agreed with it. Nothing real ever shows up without being imagined first. So when you speak about your future, you're not pretending, you're preparing. You're laying down the blueprint before the structure rises. And most people quit right here, not because it doesn't work, but because it feels unfamiliar. They go back to speaking from their past, from their mistakes, from their current limitations. I've always been like this. I'm not that kind of person. This is just who I am. No, that's who you've been conditioned to be. There's a difference. So for the next 21 days, you make a decision. You stop introducing yourself to your past, and you start introducing yourself to your future. You say, I am disciplined, even on the days you feel scattered. You say, I show up, even when everything in you wants to quit. You say, I create opportunities, even when doors seem closed. You say, I don't quit, especially when it gets hard, and you don't say it once. You don't say it when you feel like it. You say it daily, consistently, with intention, in the morning, when your mind is quiet and the day hasn't shaped you yet. At night, when you reflect on who you were and who you're becoming. In the mirror, when it's just you, no audience, no applause. And in the silence, when your thoughts are the loudest thing in the room. Because repetition, that's where the shift happens. There's something powerful happening behind the scenes when you do this. Your brain is not fixed, it's adaptable. It's constantly rewiring itself based on what you repeat, what you focus on, what you believe. That's neuroplasticity. And it means you are not stuck, you are not finished. You are not limited to who you've been. You can literally build a new identity, one thought at a time, one word at a time, one day at a time. But don't get it twisted. This is not overnight. This is not instant transformation. You won't wake up on day 3 and suddenly feel unstoppable. That's not how real change works. But something deeper happens. Around day 7, you start catching your old patterns quicker. Around day 14, your reactions begin to shift. And by day 21, you become aware of a version of yourself that you didn't fully recognize before. And that awareness, that's where everything begins. Because once you see it, once you feel it, once you realize, wait, I'm changing. You can't go back to who you were without knowing you're settling, and that's power. Not loud, not flashy, but real. The kind of power that builds quietly and shows up loudly when it matters. So here's the challenge. For the next 21 days, no more careless words about yourself. No more silent destruction. You speak with purpose. You correct your thoughts. You declare your future, because the world doesn't decide who you become, you do. And it starts with the voice inside your head. Train it, let it pastor it. And one day soon, you're going to wake up, look in the mirror and realize you didn't just change your words, you changed your life.